September in New England was about as perfect a season as there was on Earth. The days became cooler. Pumpkins ripened, and colorful leaves decorated the trees like they were getting ready for a party, the last colorful gala before winter. Lindsey Norris, director of the Briar Creek Public Library, rode her bike into work, enjoying the crisp snap to the air and the fresh smell of the briny sea as it rolled in for high tide. She felt a happy burst of optimism fill her up as everything in her world seemed to be all right, especially at work. She'd been in charge of the small library for a couple of years now, and she had come to love the seaside community in which she resided. Today was Thursday, her favorite day of the week, as it was the day that the Crafternoon group met at lunchtime to share a meal, a craft, and a discussion about the book they were reading, which currently was The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith. She stopped in front of the building and parked her bike in the rack. She wrapped the thick cable and lock around the wheel and the frame and grabbed her purse and book bag out of the basket. The book bag was just as heavy as it had been the night before when she brought it home. As she hefted it over her shoulder, she decided she needed to reevaluate this compulsion that caused her to bring what amounted to luggage, but was actually books she was reading, planned to read, or had just finished reading, to and from work every day. She told herself it was because she was never sure what she wanted to read, and she liked to have choices, but she suspected it was more like a security blanket type of thing. Her life only felt centered and well-balanced if she had a stack of books to read with her wherever she went. Granted, she had an e-reader and even read books on her smartphone, but she was a book addict, and only the comforting feel of paper beneath her fingertips could truly soothe her. As the ache in her shoulder testified, however, she had to face the fact that there was no way she could plow through this many books in one night, and bringing them back and forth was an exercise in futility. Then again, at least it was exercise. She strode to the front doors and stepped on the rubber mat that triggered the automatic doors. They whooshed open, and she stepped inside and took a deep breath, inhaling the wonderful scent of books. "Good morning," she said to Miss Cole and Paula Turner, the library's 2 employees in charge of circulation. Ms. Cole, also known as the Lemon for her rather puckered disposition, pursed her lips and gave Lindsey a nod of acknowledgement, which, coming from her, was practically a hug. Known as a monochromatic dresser, Ms. Cole's color du jour was orange, fitting with the season for sure, but her palette ran from the pumpkin orange of her sweater to the safety cone orange of her slacks, which, when Lindsey stared too long, started to make her eyes water. Paula, on the other hand, perked right up and gave Lindsey a cheery wave and a wide, warm smile while she continued assisting a customer. Her long, thick braid was dyed a fantastic shade of deep purple, which stood out against her bright red sweater. Looking at the 2 women, Lindsey was reminded of the brilliant leaves outside and felt more than a little drab in her gray sweater. Tomorrow, she vowed to dress more in season. She rounded the circulation desk and was halfway to her office when a cow crossed her path. Yes, a cow. Black and white with ears, a tail, and udders. The whole bovine package. "Stomp your feet, clap your hands, everybody ready for a barnyard dance," sang the cow, also known as Beth Stanley, the children's librarian. "Moo," Lindsey said. Beth pushed back her white hoodie with big black spots and cow ears sewn onto it and grinned at her. "You're supposed to bow to the cow," Beth said. "I thought you bowed to the horse first," Lindsey said. "You're right." Beth opened the burlap sack she carried over her shoulder and pulled out a stuffed horse. "But the horse says, neigh." "Cute," Lindsey said, as she peeked into the burlap sack to see the rest of the farm animals. "Miss Beth!" a little voice cried, and they both turned to see a 2-year-old boy pedaling his legs as fast as he could in Beth's direction. Beth dropped the bag and crouched just in time as the boy launched himself at her when he was within a yard of her. "Good morning, Sawyer," she said as she scooped him up. "Are you ready for a barnyard dance?"